Hello and welcome. My name is Space Muffin, and this is the Void Strategy. So look, today Age of Empires Mobile is out, and I wanted to give you guys a tutorial, a beginner's guide on how to get started, what to do once you first get past the tutorial, and some tips and tricks here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So obviously I've leveled up a little bit, but your screen's gonna look somewhat like this. You're gonna see these little icons here, the red icons, and that means that there's action that you can take. You'll see it over here, with the Imperial Path and things like that. But the main thing that you want to do once you're past the tutorial is you have to understand some basic things about the game. This game is a resource-based game, so as you can see, I'm collecting my resources, and there's many resources. Each resource is very valuable in their own way. You have lumber, you have your food, which is represented by the meat. You have your stone, and then you have gold. Those are the main resources. Other resources here are like the currency here, the premium currency, which you can purchase. For purposes of this guide, this is going to be a free-to-play guide. We may do some pay-to-play guides in the future. So the first thing you want to do is gather all your resources, okay? And then the next thing you want to do is you want to level up your town center, okay? Now let's talk about leveling up the town center real quick, okay? I'm going to show you guys just kind of my process of leveling up my entire city, okay? So you can use the quick use, feature. Don't worry about preserving these. What you want to do is you want to just level up as quickly as possible. But here's the key. Okay, the key to leveling is, so my town center is level 8 right now. All my buildings are level 7. Before I level to level 9, I want to make sure that every single one of my buildings is leveled up. Okay, and I'll explain the building system here in a second. Okay, so as you can see, we've unlocked some things, and what we'll do is we'll go over those in a future video. Obviously you want to claim any rewards that you have. Things like that, you want to go ahead and just claim. So as you can see, we have notifications. Our growth fund we can take action on. So that's what that red means. It can be overwhelming at first. Don't really worry about all that stuff. So going back to upgrading, okay? So for example, I have my houses here. My houses allow me to have more villagers. So you want to upgrade the house to level 8. You want to, if you're part of an alliance, which I recommend, you can speed up the process. Also, you can use your quick use system, as I mentioned. And you just want to go in and level up every single building to level 8 before progressing at all to level 9. Now, there are a couple exceptions, okay, to this rule. So if you go over, so once I'm done upgrading, I'll show you kind of what I mean. So when you go over to the, over here to the guard towers might be an exception just because they take, they require different resources. So one of the resources that they require is, these guys right here. This is the Sanctuary Blueprint. And these require you to grind with barbarians. So kind of going over everything again, you also do have the resource chest. So if you're low on a certain resource, so for example, let's say I'm low on food, I can check the food and then I can allocate as much of these to food as I want. You can also get those through barbarians. And we'll kind of go over those in a little bit. So as you're leveling up, you can also do these chapter quests, which will provide you with resources. Another resource that people don't talk about is your military resources. So over here, at some point you'll be able to build barracks and things like that, and you want to, obviously upgrade your mill first, right? But then you'll be able to produce different troops, and each troop kind of has a different specialty depending on what your commander is. Okay, and we'll kind of go over that in a little bit. But right now, I want you to really get into the habit of resource management. Really get into the habit of upgrading everything and making sure that your city does not have any make sure that your city does not have any buildings that are like below the level of your town center. Okay. And so, like I said, you have your main resource, but really everything is a resource. Your troops are resources. Even your hero units to some level are resources. Okay. And so don't focus on each one of these buildings. Just focus on updating them and just know that you have to update them, basically. And so another thing that I want to point out is you do have like other resources here that you can gather, and you can allocate your villagers. So let's talk about villagers for a second. So in the left-hand corner here next to the wood, you will see the villager icon, and this will show you what you're allocating your villagers to. And sometimes you'll see like a little, like down here, like gather wood, gather berries, gather stone. You can allocate those, your villagers to gather those additional resources until that resource is gone. So as you can see, I'm using, I have 13 idle villagers. I have total 40, and I'm using 27. Okay. So I'm using 27 out of the 40. So you're never going to use all your resources. Okay, let's talk about the merchant real quick. Okay. So if you go over to the merchant is going to be at the market. So let's go and update our market real quick. And we need to upgrade our warehouse first. So let's go and upgrade the warehouse. And then we will go back to the market. Okay. So let's go and update our market. Market is now up to upgraded. Okay, so when you go to the market, you go to the store, you're going to be tempted to buy all this stuff. Don't really worry about any of this stuff. The main thing that you want to buy, obviously, is the Sanctuary Blueprints, okay? And you also want to buy the Grand Blueprints as well in the beginning. Now, eventually, as you level up, there will be other resources that you need to buy here. But all this stuff right here, this is designed to get you to spend money, and we don't want you to do that. So go ahead and click free, okay? And then you will be able to purchase more of these. You'll be able to purchase more of those. Don't worry about any of this stuff right now, okay? So don't worry about any of this stuff right now. All right, so once you're done updating everything, once you've, kind of done all this stuff, you want to, make sure that you have decent heroes. Now, a lot of people, let's talk about civilizations real quick. A lot of people are going to be saying, what's the best civ? And at this particular point in the game, I don't think it's really relevant. I think the thing that you need to do is collect heroes. So in order to do that, go to our tavern. We're going to go and upgrade our tavern. And boom, tavern's upgraded. So what we want to do is you want to click on this icon right here. Now, this is the Hero Recruitment Center. Now, for the purposes of this video, I have not spent any of my recruitment points. So you're not going to have this many initially, but I'm going to tell you some secrets. So you do get a free one each day. And my recommendation is saving up at least 5 or 6 of these tickets so that you have a good chance of getting the hero. So let's go ahead and click on that. And we're going to go and recruit a bunch of heroes. So you'll kind of see these cool animations. And you'll get a bunch of cool heroes and all this cool stuff. So as you can see, I got a lot of stuff from this. Don't worry about that right now. And then go down to the elite recruitment and then do the same thing. And you'll notice, you'll get these tokens and you'll get heroes and all this cool stuff. Okay? So let's talk about heroes. So to access your heroes, very simple. You're going to click on the up arrow here. And you're going to go to your menu. You're going to click on heroes. And you'll notice I have a variety of heroes unlocked already. But, once you get the tokens, you can also unlock other heroes. So, for example, for this hero, I have 3 out of 10 tokens to get that hero. Okay? So, let's talk about heroes. Heroes, it's really up to you. Now, obviously, you're going to start off with, Joan of Arc and Josephine. But, you can also collect other heroes. Now, I've been in the beta for a while, and I've collected a lot of heroes. We're going to be doing some videos on heroes here pretty soon. So my thing is level up your heroes, kind of get used to the feel of the game. Now, another thing about the heroes that I want to talk about real quick is the fact that you can, have different talent points, different skills, all kinds of fun, different lineups and all this stuff. You can advance your hero. So, for example, I'll advance Josephine, and that will make Josephine, more powerful. You get certain elements. So the name of this game is Power. right? Like that's the name of the game. The name of the game is get as much power as humanly possible. And you can do that by, obviously upgrading your heroes. You can also do that by getting more units, okay? Now, to upgrade your hero's level, you want to click this plus button here. Okay, so it'll be, like 1 of 30. So you want to click that button here, and you want to upgrade your hero with these. Once again, as a free-to-play player, don't really worry about buying all this stuff, right? Now, over here, you can customize your portrait and things like that. Obviously, you want to change your name, so you can do that by, going to settings, and then you can go to character. Oh, sorry. If you go to character, you can create a new character to join a different empire. So as you can see, I have 2 characters. But kind of going back to the name change, you can also, what resource changes the name? Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place right now, guys. Is you, where is it? So if you go to all, there should be a name change resource. I've already used mine, but you can actually go to the market, and if you want to get a name change item, so you can get it right here, rename scroll. So that's kind of cool. So as I mentioned, you do want to join an alliance. You want to join a good alliance, one that's active, and so this will allow you to assist in your building speed ups. Okay. We're going to go and upgrade our hospital real quick. So as I mentioned, there's kind of these elements. You want to make sure everything's upgraded. Now, as you do your quest, you will be able to build new buildings. And once again, you'll notice the power increases. And the thing that we want to do is, once again, we want to make sure that everything is, the proper level before we level our town hall. Or sorry, not our town hall. I'm thinking of Clash of Clans. But before we level our city town center to the next level. So as you level up, as you build more buildings, you will be able to get more villagers. So you don't really got to worry about, this isn't like a traditional Age of Empires game where you got to worry too much about the villagers. Just as long as your villagers aren't idle and they're taking up the resources that they can, that's kind of the key here, right? So, so once you reach a certain level, which you should be able to reach level 10 within a day, what you want to do is you do want to have that garrison up. At this particular point in the game, it does not really matter who is in your garrison. So I will put... oh, I see. So, you can put people in your garrison, and, you click save, and then boom, now they're part of the garrison. Not really a big deal, okay? So once again, you'll be able to do your quest. You'll get things like that, your rewards. Once again, there's really not a need at this particular time to spend money on the game. My recommendation is get familiar with the elements of the game, get familiar with how the systems work before you start spending a bunch of money on this game, okay? And then if you do spend money, make sure that we're going to go over that in a future video, but make sure that they're things that actually are going to benefit you rather than just... just random stuff. So let's talk about the units one more time. So if you go to the units section here, the military units, let's say I want to train swordsmen. You'll notice here this up arrow, okay? You want to make sure that you've promoted all of your units to the next level before training new ones. That's a tip that I, that you really got to do. So, for example, I have guys here. You got to make sure they're promoted, once again, before you continue to produce units. Because you want to make sure all these guys are leveled up so that your power is maximum, increased to its maximum potential. Now, once again, for purposes of this video, I have collected a bunch of resources, but sometimes you might be in a situation where you do have to wait a little bit. Don't worry about that. That's what your guild is for, or not your guild, but your alliance. That's what that's for. That is why that's why we have the alliance. So there are certain things like food you might take up, and you'll notice what resources you take up the most, if that makes any sense. And what you want to do is you want to make sure hey, obviously I'm using a lot of stone, right? So what you want to do is, you know, you can go to resources. You can use these. You can get these from anything. You can get these from collecting. But what you want to do is you'll notice, okay, like, okay, wow, I'm low on stone, or I have the least amount of stone. Once again, click stone, and then max that out, and then boom, now your stone is back up, okay? So those are kind of the tips and tricks here. Now let's talk about the upgrades here at the university. So we're going to upgrade our university. You always want to have something being upgraded. In the beginning, my recommendation is actually upgrading your economy, okay? Because your economy is going to, your economy is essentially going to, you know, be the backbone of your empire. And the thing is, you know, and this is like a mistake that everyone's making, make sure that your economy is maxed out before going to the next level once again. So for example, I want to make sure all these are leveled up to where I cannot level them up anymore before going to level 9. Okay? That's kind of like, you know, once again, I'm stressing that a lot because it is a huge mistake that people are making. You know, so as you like level up, you're going to get more buildings. You're going to be able to allocate more villagers to those buildings and to those structures. And you just want to make sure that everything is as it should be. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to level up my guard tower. I don't have enough resources. Let's go and try to level up the other one. And so this is kind of the basics of the game. You know, just really managing your resources, making sure everything's leveled up. Okay? Now, you probably have a lot of questions, like, what's this? Like, you know, this is fishing. You don't really want to sleep on fishing. You want to make sure you do, like, your fishing every single day, and you want to max it out. You want to make sure that you do all 3. And you'll kind of get used to the fishing minigame as you, you know, as you kind of progress, you know. And even I mess up sometimes, so you don't have to have it perfect. But here's the thing, okay? Once you reach a certain level as a free-to-play player, you're only going to be playing 20 to 30 minutes a day, okay? You're not going to be playing, you know, as long as you're playing now, you know? And there's a lot of heroes you can get for free if you play your cards right. But, you know, the thing about the heroes that I want to talk about, I know we're doing the fishing right now, but let's go and just rest. I'll do that later. But the thing I want to talk about heroes is you got to find the heroes that you that really fit your play style. You know what I mean? So each hero has, if you notice, like Josephine here, each hero has a military specialty. So for example, Josephine's a warrior. When you build your lineup, and, you know, we'll talk about lineups in a future video, you want to make sure that you have, you know, warriors, because then you'll get that bonus. So for example, Cleopatra is a tactician. You know, you have marshals. You have different types of hero classes, if that makes any sense. Now, talents. We can talk about talents, but, you know, talents are pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? And so, for example, in Joan of Arc, you know, there's plenty of guides online, but, you know, once again, you want to do what fits your play style. If you play more defensively, or if you play more, you know, offensively, you know, you're going to be able to have that, you know, that flexibility. But once again, in the beginning, it's really just about power, you know, and getting that number to a reasonable number. You know what I mean? And so another easy way to check your buildings is you can go to the build icon right here, and it'll show you like what you need to do. Now, it's wanting me to do the town center, but sometimes though you'll have buildings that you can update or upgrade, and, you know, you'll be like, for example, the lumber camp here. So the game itself kind of wants you to be in that state where you're not in a good spot, but you have to kind of fight the game and be like, okay, no, game, I'm gonna do this. So you can look at construction. Obviously, I have nothing being built right now. Training, you always want to have things being trained, and once again, you always want to have something in the logistics. At the lower levels, you know, you're going to be updating things and getting things like very quickly. So, you know, it's okay if it's not going all the time. That's fine. But, you know, once again, we just want to make sure everything is where it should be. Now, in a future video, I'm going to talk about how to grind barbarians properly, because a lot of people don't understand, you know, kind of some tips and tricks. But let's talk about barbarians for a second. If you click on the map right here, as you can see, we have a lot of people on our alliance. If you want to join our alliance, by the way, we are in Empire 30. We are Void Empire, so you can join us there. So as you can see, boom, alliance stuff getting built, all this fun stuff. But click on the magnifying glass here, and you will be able to see, you know, what you can do. Okay, do you want to gather stone? Do you want to gather wood? But if you click on tribes here, you can click on barbarians. I like to be at least 1 level or 2 levels below my city at this time, just, you know, for the purpose of grinding barbarians. So as you can see, you can click auto field battle, and then it'll show you, you know, like if you're capable of doing, you know, or, you know, if it's countered, you know, as you can see, but if you're capable of basically fighting those units, right? So, and you can click, you know, you can choose the different types of units you want to fight. So let's go with pikemen, and then we'll click auto battle, and this is going to drain your stamina. So this is the stamina bar. You can get 50 stamina per day. You want to make sure that you don't sleep on this, but, you know, this is how you get your sanctuary resources here. Your sanctuary blueprints. This is how you get them. This is the best way to get them. You're going to see other resources here like giant treasures. You can go ahead and use them, right? And then, you know, you can click use, and you'll have your coins and things like that. So we're doing good. You know, we're going to, once again, claim our dailies. You know, you'll be able to see, like, your story quest. And once again, I think the key element here is not really getting ahead of yourself, you know, really just making sure that you've collected everything, that you've done everything that you need to do before you move on to the next step. Because as you level up, as you get stronger, you are going to, you know, it's going to be days before you upgrade certain buildings, right? And, you know, this is similar to a lot of games. There's a lot of games that are very similar to this game. But this one, what's unique about this is it has that Age of Empires spin on it, sorry. And so what I like to do, once again, you know, we're going to go back to our villagers. We're going to make sure all of our villagers are allocated. Okay, we have the market. Let's go ahead and allocate villagers to that. And yeah, everything looks good. So far, so good. And, you know, we're going to zoom out. We can get a kind of a clear picture here. Guard towers are below level that we want. Tavern's good. Wall's good. Pikemen are going. We got the heals going, so you can heal your units once they get from battle. And so everything looks pretty good. You know, once again, we're going to promote everybody and train. So once you're done with that, let's just assume that I got everything done. Everything is level 8 now. Okay, boom. Now we're good to go to level 9. And then, you know, boom. Look at that. Now we're level 9. And then you rinse, wash, and repeat the process, right? So you, you know, upgrade everything to level 9. Make sure everything's good to go. You know, do a little bit of grinding with the barbarians to get those blueprints. And then you just keep upgrading everything and making sure that you're allocating resources and things like that to your, you know, to your building. So that's really all I want to do for the beginner's guide, guys. I just want to really stress allocating resources. We're going to go over military. We're going to go over all that stuff in the future, but I don't want to make this guide like bloated. I don't want to make it too much. The gist of it is make sure everything's up to date. Manage your resources. Don't overspend. Don't get ahead of yourself. Join a good alliance and have fun, guys. Experiment, you know, have fun and really just play the game and play your game the way you want to play it. You know, these are just tips and tricks. You know, obviously there's things that you guys might find that I don't have, but let's go back here. As you can see, this is updated. Boom. We can now grab some more, you know, units. So, awesome, guys. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button. Give it a thumbs up, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of Age of Empires videos. And yeah, guys, we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.